The Adewale and Obi families had known each other for as long as they could remember. In fact, the two families had a history that went way back, long before Tunde and Amaka were even born. Their parents had been childhood friends, growing up together in the same neighborhood, attending the same school, and sharing their dreams and ambitions. Their bond had remained strong through the years, even as life led them down different paths. Tunde's mother, Mrs. Adewale, was a businesswoman, while Amaka's mother, Mrs. Obi, worked as a teacher in a local school. Despite their busy lives, they always made time to support each other. Every weekend, they would meet for dinner, and their children, Tunde and Amaka, were always part of these gatherings. On one such evening, Tunde and Amaka sat outside in the yard, playing a game of football while their parents chatted inside the house. The two families often joked that Tunde and Amaka had practically grown up as siblings, even though they weren't related by blood. "We've known each other too long," Tunde's mother often said with a smile. "We might as well be family." Amaka's mother would laugh in agreement. "I still remember when these two were just babies. You couldn't separate them even for a second. They've been inseparable ever since." And it was true. Tunde and Amaka had been joined at the hip for as long as they could remember, always getting into mischief together and spending hours talking about their dreams, school, and the world outside. Despite the closeness of their families, there was one thing that Tunde's and Amaka's parents never expected to happen. Their children, who had grown up under their watchful eyes, were about to make decisions that would forever alter their lives. One day, Tunde came home brimming with excitement. His school had announced a spelling bee competition, and the top prize was a smartphone. For Tunde, who had long dreamed of having his own phone, this was a chance he couldn't miss. "Tunde, you'll have to work really hard for this," his mother said when he told her about the competition. "I will, Mama," Tunde replied with determination. Over the next few weeks, Tunde buried himself in dictionaries, practiced words, and asked Amaka to quiz him every evening. When the day of the competition arrived, he was ready. Standing on stage in his neatly pressed uniform, Tunde spelled word after word with confidence. When the final round ended, his name was announced as the winner. The applause from the crowd was deafening as he accepted his prize, a brand new smartphone. Back home, Tunde's mother beamed with pride. "You earned this, Tunde," she said warmly. He couldn't wait to explore everything the phone had to offer. At first, he used it to play games, watch cartoons, and browse the internet. One day at school, during lunch break, a classmate named Jide leaned over to Tunde. "Hey, I see you've got a phone," Jide said with a sly smile. "Yes," Tunde replied proudly. "Do you want to see something cool?" Jide asked, pulling out his own phone. Curious, Tunde nodded. Jide opened an app and showed Tunde a series of videos. The content was unlike anything Tunde had seen before, confusing, strange, and oddly captivating. "What is this?" Tunde asked, furrowing his brows. Jide shrugged. "It's just something I found. Everyone watches stuff like this." Tunde didn't know how to respond, but later that day he decided to explore the app on his own phone. He couldn't tear his eyes away, fascinated by the new world unfolding before him. Over the next few days, Tunde kept these videos to himself, intrigued by what he was seeing. But one afternoon, while sitting with Amaka, he made a decision. "Amaka, you've got to see this," he said, holding up his phone. "What is it?" she asked, curious. "Just watch," Tunde replied with a grin. Amaka leaned closer, and when she saw the video, her eyes widened in shock. "Tunde, what is this? What are they doing?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know," Tunde said, a hint of excitement in his voice. "But it's something adults do. Chiki gave me these videos. We should watch more." Amaka hesitated. But is this okay? Should we be watching this? I don't know, Tunde said, but it's just videos. It's not like we're doing anything wrong. Reluctantly, Amaka agreed, though she was unsure. She sat beside Tunde, watching as more videos played. The unease gnawed at her, but she found herself strangely drawn to the screen. Over the next few days, Tunde continued to show Amaka the videos, and each time she grew more curious. At first, she couldn't understand the actions in the videos, but gradually she started to feel intrigued, even if uncomfortable at times. One afternoon, after watching a particularly adult video, Tunde turned to Amaka. What if we try it? You know, just like in the video. Amaka's eyes widened, her heart racing. What? No, Tunde. I don't think we should. It's just to understand what they're doing, Tunde said, eager. We can do it just like them, and then we'll know for sure what it's all about. Amaka felt nervous, but she also felt a strange curiosity to see for herself. But what if it hurts? What if it's not right? She asked, her voice shaky. Tunde shrugged. It's just something to try. We can stop if it doesn't feel good. Amaka took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. Okay, I'll try, but only once. The first time they tried, Amaka immediately felt a sharp pain. Tunde, it's paining me, she cried, covering herself with blankets. Are you okay? Tunde asked, concern in his voice. Amaka shook her head. I think we should stop. But Tunde wasn't ready to give up. I promise it will be better next time. You just have to get used to it. After much pestering, Amaka reluctantly agreed. Over time, what had started as discomfort turned into a strange pleasure, and she found herself wanting to try again. They began sneaking off to different spots around the compound whenever they could, sometimes behind closed doors, other times in hidden corners of the yard. Each time, Amaka felt a mix of pain and pleasure. She would complain, but Tunde would reassure her that they could stop whenever she wanted. Slowly, she grew more willing, and the two of them began to experiment more, trying to replicate the actions they had seen in the videos. It wasn't long before their secret activities became a routine. The thrill of doing something forbidden made it even more exciting, and their bond deepened in ways neither of them had expected. But with each new attempt, the danger of getting caught loomed larger. One fateful day, while their mothers were at work, Tunde and Amaka once again locked themselves in Tunde's room. Amaka's hesitation had melted away. She had started to enjoy their secret activities. But this time, as they were in the middle of trying once again, they heard a sound outside the door. Tunde? Amaka? Are you in there? The voice was familiar. Mama Tunde's. Tunde's heart stopped. Amaka's face went pale. What do we do? Amaka whispered, panic creeping into her voice. Tunde quickly grabbed his phone and shoved it under the bed. We have to act normal, quick. But it was too late. Mama Tunde opened the door and stepped inside. Her eyes immediately landed on the scene. The clothes hastily pulled back on, the disarray of the room. What's going on here? Mama Tunde asked, her voice sharp. Tunde and Amaka froze, unable to speak. Mama Tunde's gaze flickered to the phone lying on the bed, and she picked it up. As she scrolled through the videos, her face turned from confusion to anger. Tunde, what is this? Where did you get these? She demanded. Amaka shrank back, her eyes filling with tears. I didn't want to. I didn't know. It's just that... Tunde too was silent, his face red with shame. Their secret was out. Mama Tunde immediately called Mama Amaka. The two mothers arrived at the house, and they sat the children down for a serious conversation. They listened in disbelief as the children confessed everything. How they'd been watching the videos and acting them out in secret. Why didn't you tell us? Mama Tunde asked, her voice filled with hurt. Tunde, his head hanging low, mumbled, "We didn't want to disappoint you. We didn't know it was wrong." Mama Amaka, equally shocked, turned to her daughter. "Amaka, I thought we raised you better than this." Tears streamed down Amaka's face. "I'm sorry, Mama. I didn't mean for it to go this far." The two mothers spoke at length with the children, explaining the dangers of their actions and the emotional consequences of what they had done. They also made sure to let Tunde and Amaka know that this would not be the end. Counseling and therapy would be necessary to help them understand the harm they had caused themselves. In the end, the bond between the two families was never the same. While they worked together to heal, Tunde and Amaka both learned a valuable lesson, one that would stay with them forever. Moral of the story: it's crucial for parents to be aware of what their children are exposed to, especially in today's digital age. Parents should be proactive in creating open channels of communication, guiding their children to make safe and responsible decisions, and ensuring they understand the consequences of their